Welcome to Inspired Living with Cynthia, your weekly dose of purpose, passion, and perspective. This is the space where real conversations meet real inspiration, where we uncover the tools, stories, and insights that help you live boldly, think clearly, and walk confidently into the life you were created for. So settle in, open your heart, and get ready to be uplifted, challenged, and inspired. This is Inspired Living with Cynthia. This podcast is brought to you by Jarrett Gordon Ford Davenport, your Davenport Ford dealer for new and used sales.
Good evening and welcome. I am so glad you've joined us this evening. I am so excited about our guest tonight. She is an author of change, a retired chief diversity officer, and a pillar of the Winter Haven community. Valprisa Baker, J. Baker, let me get that J in there, has spent 38 years balancing a high impact career in higher education with a profound devotion to ministry and civic leadership. A recipient of the Drum Major for Justice Award from the NAACP and a recipient of Local Heroes, she continues to serve with excellence in everything she touches. Valprisa, thank you for being here tonight and welcome.
Thank you so much.
I'm so glad that you agreed to share with us tonight. And you know that the title of my show is Inspired Living. So my very first question has to be about that. What does inspired living mean to you?
Thank you for the question. But before I do answer that question, I'd like to certainly thank you so very much for the opportunity to be able to share with everyone this evening. Again, I thank you for that invitation, and I'm just excited to be here.
Awesome.
So as I think about inspired living, I think about inspired to live your purpose that God has given to you. And everybody's purpose is different, but you are to live your own purpose, and you live it with enthusiasm, with excitement, with that motivation, because you're representing God. So that is inspired living to me.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Now we're going to take you back. We're going to go back to the beginning. What was a dream that you had as a child that still resonates with you today?
Yeah. Well, as a young child, I always liked to help. I always enjoyed helping. So when I went to school, I enjoyed school a lot. My second grade teacher, Mrs. Woods, she had a strong impact on me. I just loved her and loved her class, loved just learning from her. And I thought, well, I'd like to be like her. And at the time, as a child, you don't know that is where she's established a rapport with you. You don't realize that's what that is. You're
Right.
just enjoying being in her class. So I wanted to be like her. So I said, I want to be a teacher. So that was what resonated with me as I began.
Okay, Awesome. So that really answers part of my next question. Right?
Sure.
Who was an early source of inspiration in your life, and what did you learn from them? So you mentioned her.
Yes, I did. And actually before her, obviously, my sister and I were raised in a single parent household, and we were raised by our mother and our grandmother. They were our first teachers. They taught us how to reverence God, how to actually go to him and talk to him when you need things, whatever it is that you need. You always trust him and go to him. They were our first teachers in teaching us what to do. They taught us how to be a mother. And my mom always said that listen to the Lord and what he directs you and tells you to do. And treat people the way you want to be treated, because the journey of life opens many doors when you do that. So we follow that rule of thumb that we were given by them.
Awesome. Okay, you wore many hats, including Chief Diversity Officer and Title IX Coordinator.
Yes.
What was the driving why that led you to dedicate your career to equity and inclusion?
Yes.
Because that's not an easy area.
Yes, you're absolutely right. When I thought about that, I thought about Matthew 22:14, where it paraphrased just simply saying that many are called, few are chosen. And I believe, just my personal belief, that I was chosen to be the Chief Diversity Officer. That was a calling. Again, I enjoyed being in the education arena. This position was in the education arena. But I am a helper, and I don't mind standing in the gap. And as a Chief Diversity Officer, you have to do that, stand in the gap. As I was trained by those seasoned diversity officers that I came in contact with many years ago, they shared and said, Val, that's a lone job. And they were like, you don't understand that right now. But as you get embedded into that position, you will understand it is a lone job because of what you have to do.
Right.
And as I grew in that position, I understood that so very much because of the responsibility that you have. You have to make sure everyone is represented fairly and making sure that they are treated the way that they should be treated.
Right.
And if not, there's a job that you have to do and a job that you have to fulfill. And I had a job that I had to fulfill. And sometimes it would make people happy with the decisions that are made, sometimes not. But that's just the way that it worked. And that was just, I was chosen for that particular position.
You definitely have to have the temperament and have to have the mindset to deal in that field for sure. So what was a core value that drives your decision, the decisions that you made?
I think about truth and I think about transparency. Those are key for as core values because they deal with honesty, communication, fairness, being clear, integrity, accuracy. So that's why that resonates with me.
Awesome. So we've talked about the beginning. So let's talk about the challenge, the crossroads, because every inspiring journey has some valleys. Could you share a moment of significant challenge or a time when you felt like you were just stuck?
Yes, and this is on a personal note that I share this with you. It's part of a testimony for me, and I'm excited to be a mother. Okay, and to that journey to get there wasn't an easy one, but God brought us through that journey. But as we were preparing for that journey, we have a ticking clock, as we say. Remember that ticking clock. So I was getting close to that ticking clock. So I talked to God, just like you and I are talking, and I simply said, now listen here. You have said this, and you promised me that I was going to be a mother. It had been a long time, and we'd gone through a number of challenges. But he allowed it to happen. And so our son, I carried our son, not for the 9-month period, but for 28 weeks. That was my gestation, 28 weeks. But God. He was born weighing 1 pound, 14 ounces. My husband could hold him in his hand. Again, my testimony. He was born, but I remember the neonatal nurse, doctor coming in and saying to me, she said, your son was born, but he came here with his eyes open and everything. She said, I knew he would be fine. And she said, what are you doing with your eyes open? She was so excited, but she said she knew he would be fine. And so I'll never forget, he had to go to St. Joseph's in Tampa to the neonatal center. Before they took him there, they brought him in, and he was in his incubator. I call it his little apartment at the time. And so they brought him in, and so I asked if I could touch him because I could see him. He was so tiny. Yes, you can touch him. So I put my hand in, and he grabbed my baby finger. Very strong grip. That resonated with me because it let me know that it's like, hey, Mom, I'm small, but I'm going to be fine. I just have to get strong. I just have to get strong.
Right, right.
And God allowed him to get strong. He did. And my sister-in-law, Linda, she was a neonatal nurse at the time over in St. Joseph's. So she was there with him. So he had family there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it was just one of those wonderful times, and watching how God brought us through. And my son he came home, he was an early birthday present for, I say my husband, because he came home before his birthday. But 31 years later, he's still here. He's married, has a wonderful wife, Corti. We couldn't have asked him to we couldn't have had a better daughter-in-law than her. So we're excited that he's moving forward and God is working in their lives. So he's our miracle child. He's our miracle baby. So that's a crossroad, because all we could do was pray and lean and depend upon God.
Yeah. Absolutely. That was my next question. How did you get through it? What was your internal thoughts to yourself during that difficult time? So definitely.
Yeah, prayer and just talking to God. He had made a promise to us, and we trusted him and believed in him. And that was our faith, strong, holding on, because when he says it, that settles it.
Absolutely. Wow. That is a significant challenge.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay. Now we're gonna turn back to your work a little bit.
Okay.
In your work, bridging gaps in equality, you likely face some systematic hurdles, I'm sure. How did you maintain your resolve when the crossroads involve, negative things or navigating complex situations? Because they've made equity and inclusion a dirty word these days, but
that's correct.
You were in it for a long time. So
Yes.
how did you navigate that?
Well, one of the things that required in my role in doing my job, I have to abide by the law. There are laws that we have to abide by. We have rules, procedures, guidelines that are based on those laws. And so there were times that I would, again, as I talked about, have to make decisions, look into investigations, just follow through. When things are brought to us, if they have to be looked at and investigated, that's my role, that's my job, that's what I have to do. And again, sometimes decisions are made that people aren't happy about the results, but I have to go by what's presented to me and follow the suit of the law. And I worked for 3 presidents in that role, and I'm proud to say none of those presidents had to make a visit downtown or anything. So I was doing my job, and it was just important for me to make sure I dotted I's and crossed T's. And I said to one of my presidents, I said, listen, each day I come, I do my job, I do what I need to do, but I want to be able to go home and look at myself in the mirror.
Absolutely.
And that's important to me.
Absolutely, yeah. Okay. I'm sure there were some opportunities that didn't always work out, and you had to keep going. So how did you navigate the fear of failure or the fear of the unknown?
When I think about failure, it's really a mindset, your mindset, because failure doesn't define who you are. Failure becomes a teachable moment for you. Failure is the path that leads you to your journey for success.
Right.
And you have to go through some hurdles, but it creates the best you. So when you come to the end, and remember that failure doesn't define you, it prepares you for the next journey in your life.
So definitely doesn't define you. So that's awesome. That's a great piece of advice. And so that kind of leads me into my next question.
Yes.
Was there a piece of bad advice that you received, and now that you're looking back, you're like, man, I'm glad I ignored that piece of advice?
Yes. And in the world of work, as I went through upward mobility in my professional career, there were elevations as you move up. And so I had the opportunity to move into a higher level position. And so it was shared with me, I wouldn't take that particular opportunity because they're setting you up for failure, for lack of a better word. But again, background teaches me to pray and talk to God, talk to my husband, see the best route to take. So the Lord led us to take that route and take that position. Because had I not taken that position, I wouldn't be where I am today. I would not have had the experience that I did in my career had I not taken that opportunity. That was a stepping stone.
Well, yeah, yeah, okay. So we've talked about the challenges, the beginning, the challenges. Now let's talk about the how. Um, what were small steps that you may have taken to pull yourself out of challenging times?
One key word: prayer.
Time and time again.
Yes. And you can't go wrong with it. And I had to pray my way through a lot of different situations. But I always remember Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ, which strengthens me.
Absolutely.
And that resonates with me. That's actually my favorite Bible verse. It's there with me, and it stays with me.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Is there a specific habit, practice, or mindset shift that was crucial to your growth?
Yes, I start my morning out with morning devotion. Obviously, I pray first before getting out, before starting my devotion. And then that devotion period is very important to me because it prepares me and gets me ready for my day. That's essential because that's just a part of me and something that I do every day.
Okay. So that helps you with your growth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Looking back at your career, you've launched transformative programs like the Elite and the ELPS. What was the accent like? What was the accent like for those initiatives from a mere concept to shaping the program for future leaders?
Sure. And that's what the core of the programs were. Both of those were leadership programs preparing future leaders. And two separate programs, the elite programs, the exceptional leadership innovative program, it was for individuals who, well, let me say this before I move forward with that. I looked at the college when I brought those leadership ideas to the president. I could look around the college and we had a lot of talented people at the college, but they were not having the opportunity to share their talent, to share their growth, to share their knowledge. And they were future leaders. And so when I shared that with the president and shared looking at that opportunity, she thought, well, yeah, let's try it. So we started with our elite program, and it allowed those future leaders to expand their growth, their knowledge, their leadership ability. And we had much success with that particular leadership program. A number of those individuals received promotions, whether it was internal or external. They worked on projects, and a lot of those projects were implemented for the betterment of the college. So but if had they not had that opportunity,
right,
you would never know. The ELPS program, the Emerging Leaders program, that was the leadership program as well. And it was for individuals who were not necessarily ready to roll into an administrative or a higher professional level position, but were ready to elevate and move forward to a higher level within the career employment tier. And those individuals, they grew, they learned, they had mentors, they had coaches. So it helped them to develop their leadership skills and prepare them for an opportunity to move into the elite program. So those leadership programs allowed individuals to blossom.
And those were your babies.
Yes.
You created them, you launched them,
Yeah.
and you brought the people into the programs.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
wow.
Mhm.
Uh, I know that it was a huge success, so
Yes.
kudos
Yes.
to you.
Thank you so very much.
Now, occasionally, everything we talked about earlier may not work out as you planned.
Yeah.
What would you say the most important lesson that failure has taught you?
Again, failure doesn't define me.
Mm.
Failure simply prepares me for success.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, let's talk about the now.
Okay.
And you started talking about how you begin your day. So my question simply is, what does the first hour of your day look like? How do you set the tone for an inspired day?
Absolutely, absolutely. Of course, as I said, starting with prayer, starting with my devotion. Those are my little regimens, and I also exercise. And I go to the gym at old dark 30. My husband says I make too much noise because I'm up so early and trying to get myself together. But I enjoy exercising, and I'm a morning person, so I have to get that exercise out.
Out of the way.
Yes, during the morning. So I just love that, and that's just kind of how I start my day, with prayer, devotion, and then rolling into that exercise. That's just fun for me. I
Okay.
enjoy doing that.
I've had to teach myself how to be a morning person because I was a night owl. Um, how do you handle it when you have days that things may be a bit off? Uh, what do you do when your motivation is low?
Well, I tell you, I take some time for me, some me
Okay.
time, whether it means going to the spa, or whether it just means just going out to have lunch, whatever it is, hanging out with a friend, girl, just having fun, just doing me.
Let's get some, yeah.
Mhm.
You can't pour if your cup
Mhm.
is not full.
That's
Awesome.
right.
Okay.
That's right.
Um, what is a book, poem, or quote that you've returned to time and time again for inspiration?
And as I said earlier, my favorite Bible verse is Philippians 4:13. I rely on that frequently, and I carry it in my heart. And I enjoy, part of my devotion goes with where I read a book by Joyce Myers, and it's called Beginning Your Day with God. And it's a devotional book as well. And it gives you motivational stories, etc., that you can really resonate, and it makes you think, and it makes you look, and you're like, oh yeah, I get that, I understand that. It
Right.
just makes you think and move, and it grows you from a spiritual perspective.
Okay. Um, how do you define success for yourself today, and has that definition changed over time?
Yes, when I would think about success previously, I would think about accomplishments and upward mobility. But now I think about success is in my relationship with God, my spirituality, my growth, my connection with Him. And so it has changed from that perspective. So I look at success from more of a spiritual perspective.
Okay, all right. So definitely something you had to learn and grow into.
Yes,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Okay. Um, between your roles at the college
Mm-hmm.
and your leadership roles in Winter Haven, how do you ensure um, you're pouring from a full cup, as I said earlier?
Yes, you have to. I personally think that you have to make sure that you take care of yourself. You're not being selfish, it's not from a selfish perspective, but you have to learn how to take care of yourself. Because if you can't take care of yourself, you can't pour into
Mhm.
anyone else.
Right. Right.
And that's key, and that's very important to me, learning to take care of myself so that I can pour into others.
Yep. You have to have that meantime, as you said earlier.
Mhm.
That's awesome. Okay, we're kind of done with the formal questions.
Okay.
Now we're going to have a little bit of fun. At least I think they're fun, but some of my interviewees have said they're not that fun. So just share what comes to mind.
Okay.
No trick questions. Not trying
Okay.
to.
Okay.
All right. What's a small thing that brings you immense joy?
Having a nice cup of butter pecan ice cream.
I like butter pecan too, so I'm right there with you.
Yes.
All right. The best advice that you've ever received in 5 words or less.
Believe faithfully, trust in God.
Okay. All right. Um, Fill in the blank. The world needs more.
At this point, everything but love.
Yeah.
More love, happiness, understanding, compassion.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. All rolled into one.
Yes.
All right. What one thing are you most grateful for at this exact moment?
Eternal salvation and my husband. I know you said one, but.
It's okay. I'll let you have 2. All right. A favorite scent or sound?
Favorite sound is the ocean at night. You are in maybe your hotel room and you have the sliding glass door open and you can hear the waves and the sound of the ocean.
Yeah. I like the sound. I like the sound of the water too. All right. Now this one may be a little tricky.
Sure.
What is a belief that you hold that many people might disagree with?
Miracles are real.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. A lot of people
Mm-hmm.
definitely would think miracles ended in the biblical times. But he's definitely performing miracles.
Absolutely.
Daily.
Daily. I look at our son and myself. We are miracles.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Does he know he's a miracle baby?
He does indeed. He does indeed.
Awesome. All right. What is one uninspired activity that you do just for fun?
On my iPhone, I have a word game called Word Escapes, and all it is just you're looking and you have letters and you're forming words of those letters. So it doesn't take a lot to think about, but it's just you just do it. And that's just what I do.
You just you just play on your phone. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We're going to wrap up. Just the last 2 questions. As you think about our conversation today, what is one message that you hope every listener takes away from our conversation?
No matter what your aspirations are, always seek guidance from God. Always keep faith and trust God, because without Him, you would fail.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing with us. And
Absolutely.
my last question is, I'm going to give you an opportunity to connect with our audience. So it's really not a question. Well, I guess it is a question. Where's the best place for our audience to connect with you and learn more about the incredible work that you continue to do in Winter Haven and in the community, as well as through your ministry?
Okay. Yes, absolutely. They can certainly message me on Facebook, Val Baker. They're welcome to do that. They can certainly go to our church's Facebook page, New Antioch MB Church, and see the things that we are doing there at our church. And certainly they can visit us. Come and visit us at New Antioch Missionary Baptist Church. We're at 221 Church Street in the metropolitan city of Laughlin, Florida. So come and visit us at any time. We have our morning worship service at 11 a.m. and we have a powerful preacher where he preaches the true word of God. I always say straight word, no chaser. That's just it. He gives it to you the way that it is. And if I could I invite them to our women's conference that we're going to have in
absolutely.
August?
Go right ahead.
And on August the 8th, we're going to have our third annual Sisters Forever Intertwined Women's Conference, and we invite you all to come out and share with us. It begins at 9 a.m. at the church. Again, that's August 8th, and we invite you to come out and share with us. Thank you.
Awesome. So, thank you again so much for sharing with us tonight, and thank you for just being open and honest about your career as well as your ministry and your leadership skills. And again, congratulations on your leadership award that you won this year in Winter Haven. I would drive through Winter Haven and see your poster hanging up there, and I would be so proud all over again. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And be sure and tell Reverend Baker that we said hello.
Absolutely.
And I know he's listening, so hello, Reverend Baker. So again, thank you for being with us.
Absolutely.
And if you need anything from me, you know how to reach me.
I do. I do. Thank you again so much for having me. I've really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
This podcast was brought to you by Jarrett Gordon Ford Davenport, your Davenport Ford dealer for new and used sales, with 1,868 new and used Fords in stock. Visit us to test drive any of Ford's new vehicles, from the best-selling F-150 truck to the all-electric Mustang Mach-E compact crossover. Ford's latest models offer world-class comfort, cutting-edge infotainment, innovative driver safety aids, and turbocharged power. Jarrett Gordon Ford Davenport. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Inspired Living with Cynthia, your weekly dose of purpose, passion, and perspective. I hope today's conversation encouraged you, empowered you, and gave you something meaningful to carry into your week. Remember, inspiration isn't just something you hear, it's something you live. So take what you've learned, apply it with courage, and keep moving toward the life that's calling you. Until next time, reminding you to stay inspired, stay intentional, and stay true to your purpose. Have a blessed and beautiful week.